Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for being here and for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. And I'm very excited to show you my library. I've moved a lot of things around since my last one. I'm sure I've gotten new books. I'm sure I've gotten rid of a lot of books. My library is always changing because I'm always using it. And so it's fun to see how it evolves over time. I hope you enjoy this video and please subscribe. Please like this video. It's very helpful. Thank you for being here once again, and let me start you with the tour. Here we go. Welcome to my nonfiction section. Since you last saw my library tour, I got this bookshelf. I found it for free on Facebook Marketplace, and it just happens to be the exact same bookshelf as my other one. So last time you saw this, it was all stacks on the ground. This is much nicer. I can pull out one book from anywhere and nothing bad happens. This bookshelf as well is alphabetized by author, A to Z, except for a few little bits at the bottom. Let me try and get you up to the top shelf. Welcome to the top shelf. I'm not going to do every book because that's a lot. But I'm going to pick out a few of my faves from each shelf. Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Notes on Grief. I love when essays are individually bound in little volumes. It just makes them feel more important to me. Oh, I'm very keen for this one. It's called The Book Lover. One right before, also hilarious. Operas Every Child Should Know. That was also, I thought, hilarious. And oh, here's my Jason Baxter section. Introduction to Christian Mysticism. I have The Medieval Mind of C.S. Lewis. Essays on Mallory. I grabbed this because there's a C.S. Lewis essay in there. The Home Economics by Wendell Berry. I own Boethius' Consolation of Philosophy. Have not gotten to it yet. I think I'll need a lot of energy, but I'm excited for that. We also have some really beautiful books up here. Collection of letters and Papers from Prison by Bonhoeffer in a folio society edition. I have another Bonhoeffer, Life Together. The Rise and Fall of the Medieval Monastery. Look at this cover. Wow, this exercise is also functioning as a dusting. So, excellent. Thomas Cahill, How the Irish Saved Civilization. The Gift of the Jews, How a Tribe of Desert Nomads changes the way everyone thinks and feels. Daily Life in Rome. Inklings by Humphrey Carpenter. Wild Swans. An autobiography by G.K. Chesterton. Autobiographies are good, but also kind of funny. What bits do you tell of yourself, you know? And then some selected essays by G.K. Chesterton. And My Life in France by Julia Child. Some Coleridge, Biographa Literaria. I have this beautiful copy of On the Origin of the Species by Charles Darwin. Oh, just beautiful. And then I have this pair of Elizabeth David's Christmas and Elizabeth David's Book of Mediterranean Food. Look at those olives. Incredible. This is a book of Castles de Haute Marne. I have lots of books about food. Coquille, Calva, and Crème. Exploring France's culinary heritage. A love affair with food. I love reading about food. Letters from Egypt. Wow, there's a lot in here I have not read. I think it's because they were in piles and hard to get at. Oh, this one also great. I also love travel literature. So this is The Writer's Journey. I got this as a gift for my birthday this year. This little guy is very cute. Jerry and Marge Go Large. This is actually from a small press in Alberta, Canada. They make these beautiful little books. The pages are salmon colored. Incredible. And it's a piece of journalism. Viktor E. Frankl's A Man's Search for Meaning. I was so excited when I found this one. Oh, The Romance of the Canterbury Cathedral. Anyway, what a dream. Gotta move on. A little Northrop Frye section. Have not gotten to him yet, but again, high hopes. Inner Game of Tennis. Not my book, I'll be honest. Oh, Miss Gaskell. Life of Charlotte Bronte. A very good biography. I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist. A book about Virginia Woolf. The Table Comes First. More books about food. Oh, this book was really good. The Wager by David Gran. History of Rome. I do love a history. Crucial Conversations, Christian Apologetics, Joy Like a Mountain. My friend wrote that. The Badass Librarians of Timbuktu. I think I grabbed that from a free library for obvious reasons. The Reason I Jump by Naoki Higashida. It's written by a boy who has autism, and he's talking about his autism. Wow, this is actually very fun for me, going through each of my books and seeing them. Okay, let's go down another shelf. This is one of my favorite nonfiction shelves, okay? On here, we get to the L, which means we get to the C.S. Lewis. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have some other great books on here. Unbroken, Laura Hillenbrand. Tom Holland, The Forge of Christendom, The 7 Ages of Paris by Alistair Horn, collection of essays, Adonis and the Alphabet by Aldous Huxley, this cute little green volume, letters from Laura Ingalls Wilder. I kind of want to make a little section just of letters, but I have nowhere to put that, so. Selected letters of Samuel Johnson. I love a little cloth-bound edition. The Ghost Map, story of London's most terrifying epidemic and how it changed science, cities, and the modern world. Wow, we've had this since before the Panini, so that's kind of fun. White Too Long, The Gambler's Wife. This is about Dostoevsky's wife, who is a boss. Meaning of Marriage by Thomas Keller. Inconvenient Indian by Thomas King, on the reliability of the Old Testament by Kitchen. Another book about food, Cod, Mark Kurlansky. I have a couple Madeleine L'Engle books, collections of her essays. And then we come to our C.S. Lewis section. This is just the C.S. Lewis nonfiction, just to be clear. The fiction's in the other room. The Allegory of Love by C.S. Lewis. This is about medieval cosmology, medieval tradition, English literature in the 16th century, An Experiment in Criticism by C.S. Lewis. I'm going to be rereading this very soon with the Literary Life podcast. They're doing it at the end of this month, I think. The Four Loves, God in the Dock, Collected Letters of C.S. Lewis, Volume 2. I just finished Volume 1, so it's in a stack of books I read for February. The Discarded Image by C.S. Lewis, An Introduction to Medieval and Renaissance Literature, Letters to Malcolm, chiefly on prayer, Mere Christianity, Miracles, The Personal Heresy, Reflections on the Psalms, Surprised by Joy, The Weight of Glory, and that's the end. The end of Lewis. Then we have a little Winston Churchill biography, Ireland's Wild Plants by Niall McCoyder, Marco Polo, The Travels, The Tree Where Man Was Born. I know nothing about this one. We have this beautiful copy of A History of Catherine of Aragorn, Under the Tuscan Sun, Hooked, about sex in the brain, very interesting. John McPhee, La Place de la Concorde Suisse. We have a couple books by Thomas Merton. This one, I am actually unsure if it is fiction or nonfiction, but it's called Voltaire in Love by Nancy Mitford. Supposedly about Voltaire in love. Not sure how many liberties she took with that one. A book that's just called Venice by James Morris. Then we have a few Jan Morris. And I love Jan Morris's travel writing. It's so good. I have Wales, Oxford, Spain, and Venice. And this Oxford Book of Oxford is chosen and edited by Morris as well. One of my favorite things about this collection is the dedication, which cracks me up every single time. Dedicated gratefully to the warden and fellows of St. Antony's College, Oxford. There's a little space, and then it goes, except one. I think Jan had some tension with someone at Antony's College. And I love that they put in the dedication. The Dublin Railway Murder, sensational true story of Victorian murder mystery. Toni Morrison, a little essay by her. Mechanic Exercises. This is a hilarious book because it is written all about how to do the different trades, but it's not written by a man who has ever done the trades. But he wanted to let you know how to do them. What was I? Grammar's Guide to Better Plain English. I really love the color of that cover. Michelle Obama's Becoming. Oh, this is really good. Collection of Essays, Journalism, and Letters by George Orwell, Volume 1. If I stumble across Volume 2 or any subsequent volumes, I do not know how many there are, I would gladly pick it up. Then we have Royalty in the 19th Century in this beautiful purple. Couple John Piper, J. Packer. One volume of Pepe's Diaries. This folio edition, it's only, like, I think it is supposed to come in a set of 3, but I found it in a bin for $1. So that felt like the deal of a lifetime. We have a little Plato volume in here, and Amusing Ourselves to Death by Neil Postman. Another Churchill and Orwell. This was an interesting joint biography of how these two men, like how their lives intertwined. Oh, and the last one on the shelf is a true gem. It is a biography of Wilkie Collins by Kenneth Robinson, and I bought it immediately because of this cover, like this picture of Wilkie on the front. Let me show ya. So excellent. The shelf starts off with the beautiful Hallelujah by Cindy Rollins. I read this Advent. Very nice, and I am most likely going to read it next Advent. Jean-Jacques Rousseau, The Confessions. We have the autobiography of Bertrand Russell, Our Woman Human by Dorothy L. Sayers. I have a nice chunk of Francis Schaeffer, Escape from Reason, He Is There and He Is Not Silent, How Should We Think, and True Spirituality. Vera, Stacy Schiff. Glenn Scrivener, The Air We Breathe. Church History in Plain Language. A book about writing letters. The Art of the Personal Letter. A Tolkien History by Tom Shippey, I believe. Yes. Honestly, I might start this very soon. We'll leave her there, but because I do have kind of 7 books on the go right now, I can't seem to find what I want to read at the moment. So I keep starting a new book, and then now that's becoming a little overwhelming. So I think I need to pare that down and then start another. Portable Magic, The History of Books and Their Readers. Redlining Culture, this is some literary criticism. Galileo's Daughter. Inside the Third, I never know how to say this word, Third Reich. R-E-I-C-H. Inside the Third Reich. Memoirs by Albert Speer. Oh, what is this? Oh, Letters of Edna St. Vincent Millay. Honestly, this might be the year of letters. This might be the year of letters. I just need to go through my shelves and read all the letters I own. Rhythms for Life by Alistair Stern. Essays of Travel Writing by Robert Louis Stevenson. And then we have these 3 books by Karen Stiller. Symphony of Scripture by Mark Strom. Stalin's Daughter. This was a very interesting biography about Stalin's daughter. I don't know if you've noticed, but I like biographies about people who are adjacent to very famous people. Like Stalin's Daughter. This one's Galileo's Daughter. This one, The Gambler's Wife, is about Dostoevsky's wife. People who you don't often hear about, or don't hear as much about, but you get a very interesting portrait of the said famous person from the perspective of someone who is very close to them. Another book about food. This is Food History. The Alice B. Toklas Cookbook. Oh, let me show you guys this one. It has a nice wraparound cover. Oh, of a fish. Ghosts of Spain. Eat, Shoots, and Leaves. Classic writing book. Jen M. Twenge. Very interesting. I read a book very recently called The Anxious Generation by Jonathan Haidt, and he cites this book a lot. So it was interesting that I had read it. The Body Keeps the Score. Oh, A History of the Private Life. I found this under my parents' stairs in my dad's old books, and I thought that was very interesting because history is never about the private life. You know, it's always about the big public figures who do great things. So it's cool to see someone tracking as much. And also, we don't, whoa, jumping around. We also don't tend to note down the daily things. We think they're boring and mundane because we do them all the time and everyone does them. But in 1,000 years from now, we're not going to remember all those little mundane things that everyone does. And it's kind of interesting to see how other people did those things. Planet Narnia by Michael Ward. This is about the Chronicles of Narnia and how they relate to, I think, medieval cosmology. Yeah. Queen Victoria's Sketchbook, which is exactly what it sounds like. We're not done yet, don't you worry, but I'm really enjoying this. Okay, we have, more letters. The Letters of Evelyn Waugh. Train of Powder by Rebecca West. Educated by Tara Westover. That was a very interesting memoir of her life. Oh, a little collection of essays. The Decay of Lion by Oscar Wilde. I have a few by Dallas Willard. Divine Conspiracy. The Great Omission. Oh, sorry, that's just two. Divine Omission. I have a couple by Donald Williams. Inklings of Reality and Mere Humanity. Misconceptions by Naomi Wolf. Truth, Lies, and the Unexpected on the Journey to Motherhood. How Fiction Works by James Wood. That is the end of the, I guess, alphabetized nonfiction section. And then we are moving into, I guess, Bibles is the section. We have a small ESV, we have a big ESV translation, English Standard Version with commentary. I have these NIV translations of the Bible. This is a translation of the NIV that doesn't have any chapters or verse numbers written in. So it kind of makes for a smoother reading. I think I have the whole Bible like this. But yeah, Covenant History, which is like the first 5 books. We have the prophets, the writing, poetry, song, stories. So that's like Psalms and Proverbs. And then this is the New Testament. Oh, we have I think this is NLT translation of Matthew. But it has these beautiful pictures alongside the text. Another little NLT. And then some various journals, devotional books. These are also ESV, but they're a book of the Bible. So this is John, but then it has a whole page for notes. Oh, this book, very fun. It's called Everyone in the Bible. And so it is just a reference book of every name. And then it tells you a little blurb about who they are and where you can find them in the Bible. Canadian Oxford Dictionary, Multidictionnaire de la langue française, which is a French dictionary, French definition, but for Canadian French. I have the Chicago Manual style for my brief stint in editing. The MLA Handbook from all my English essays. Oh, this is also a very interesting reference book. It's called Le Robert Combinaison. It tells you what words go together. Okay, and then at the very end we have some woodworking books, Understanding Wood Finishing, Chip Carver's Workbook, Understanding Wood. There we go. That marks the end of my nonfiction shelf. Okay, welcome to my fiction shelf. It's a little taller than my other one, but here she is, okay? Flatland, A Romance of Many Dimensions, Half of a Yellow Sun. Oh, this is a throwback to my childhood, Araby and Mortimer. Jack Shepherd by Ainsworth, Homeland Elegies. Here we have, by Louisa May Alcott, Joe's Boys, Little Men, Little Women, The Old-Fashioned Girl, Under the Lilacs by Louisa May Alcott, and The Typewriter Girl by Grant Allen. A Victorian novel, Passage North by Anouk. I'll be honest, I'm not going to try and say that last name. Alias Grace, Handmaid's Tale, Life Before Man, Testament, and Wilderness Tips, all by Margaret Atwood. Whew, okay, my arm is getting sore. Then we have some Jane Austen. I have Northanger Abbey, Pride and Prejudice, and Sense and Sensibility. John Banville, Eclipse, and John Banville, The Sea. Little Irish moment for you. Uncle Tom's Cabin, Orinoco by Aphra Behn, Possession by A.S. Bennett, Judy Blume, Kangaroo Hunter by who knows, Lady Audley's Secret by Braddon, Alan Bradley Mysteries. I have 2, the first 2, Sweetness at the Bottom of the Pie, The Weed That Strings the Hangman's Bag. Excellent titles, if I do say so myself. Edgar Huntley by Charles Brockden Brown, Wieland by Charles Brockden Brown, and what is this? Oh, Agnes Grey by Anne Bronte. Jane Eyre. Okay, Pure Delight. Cometh Up a Flower by Broughton. Pilgrim's Progress. Bernie. Oh, I do have 2 copies of Evelina. You know what? I don't know if I need that in my life. I definitely got this one because it's beautiful, but this one I read in undergrad and has my notes in it. I do appreciate a scholarly annotated edition, but this is beautiful. Okay, who am I kidding? I'm keeping the beautiful one. Alice in Wonderland. Paper Bodies by Margaret Cavendish. Next we have a little G.K. Chesterton chunk. Father Brown, The Thing. Kate Chopin, The Age of Innocence. A bunch of Agatha Christie. Oh, hey, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. Prince and the Pauper. Down here we have Lawn the Lady and Moonstone. And the new Maudlin by Wilkie Collins. This book enrages me to no end, but it's one of those Amazon print on demands. I will never order an Amazon print on demand book ever again. This one doesn't even have the title on the cover, or sorry, on the spine, but the book itself is good. But if ever I found a more beautiful copy, I would ditch this bad boy immediately. Thunder by Cooper. What is this? Oh yeah, The Deer Slayer by James Fenimore Cooper. Heart of Darkness. Lord Jim by Joseph Conrad. River by Joseph Conrad. Dominicana, a little mini Roald Dahl section, This Mournable Body, Robert Davies' Fifth Business, and Stories for Children by Walter de la Mare. Delicious. A little Portuguese moment, The Relic by De Queiroz, Confessions of an Opium Eater, a couple Defoe's, Journal of the Plague Year, and Robinson Crusoe, Diary of a Provincial Lady. And next we have our Dickens section, Barnaby Rudge, some Christmas books, David Copperfield, Dombey and Sons, and then down here I also have Master Humphrey's Clock and Edwin Drood, Oliver Twist. And since we are in Dickens, I also have Hard Times, but it's on my pile of books I read this month, so it's down there. Doyle, The Sign of Four, more Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, The White Company, Dostoevsky, Crime, Punishment, and The Brothers Karamazov, a lovely little Alexander Dumas duo, Count of Monte Cristo, and The Black Tulip, The Imperialist. Sarah J. Duncan. Adam Bede by George Eliot was so lovely to read. So sweet. Really love that. And then Middlemarch speaks for itself. Fielding, Joseph Andrews, and Shamala. Tom Jones, Harriet the Spy, some Ford Madox Ford, The Good Soldier, E.M. Forster, Howard's End, The Longest Journey, A Passage to India, John Fowles, French Lieutenant's Woman, Mythos by Stephen Fry. Just got this for Christmas. Excited about that. Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, and Sally Gardner. These are from my youth as well. Kind of a mystery. I don't know if they're good or not. Oh, yes, this one deserves a little spotlight moment. My edition of Cranford. Are you kidding me? I also have Mary Barton, The Odd Woman by George Gissing, one of my faves, you know. Godwin, The Man in the Moon, and Caleb Williams. It's always confusing when the book is called Caleb Williams, not the author, that's the name of the book. Memoirs of a Geisha. We have a couple Nadine Gordimer, Kenneth Graham's The Wind in the Willows. And what's hiding back here? Oh, Graham Greene, Brighton Rock. I have quite a few Graham Greene considering I've only read one of his books, The Quiet American. But my father had a lot of his novels, so I grabbed them. Okay, Robert Graves, also novels from my father's stash. I don't know anything about these except for they had incredible covers. Settlers of the Marsh, The Last Storyteller, Tales from the Heart of Morocco. My mom read that and said it was really good. She left it here. And then we come to a section of pure delight. And that is my Thomas Hardy section. We have Far from the Madding Crowd, Jude the Obscure, The Mayor of Casterbridge, The Return of the Native, and Tess of the D'Urbervilles. And is this Thomas Hardy as well? Yes, Under the Greenwood Tree, or Mellstock Choir by Thomas Hardy. Or A City Girl by Harkness, Scarlet Letter, a few Hemingways, almost all of the Dune series. I borrowed 2 and 3 from someone else, so I don't actually have my own copy. A Book of Negroes by Lawrence Hill, Hindu Myths, The Little Princess, delightful. The Hunchback of Notre Dame by Hugo in this I love this dust jacket. Brave New World. Wow. I'm going to be rereading this year with the podcast. And then we have a little chunk of Kazuo Ishiguro, Henry James. This is a copy of Wuthering Heights that is tragically falling apart, but I think is so beautiful. This is Rudyard Kipling. We have Arthur Kessler, Darkness at Night. And then we have some of Madeline L'Engle's fiction over there in the corner. A Wrinkle in Time by Madeline L'Engle. Sons and Lovers by D.H. Lawrence. Jean Le Carré, Pachinko by Min Jin Lee was really good. Then we have a chunk of C.S. Lewis. This is the fiction section. Pilgrim's Regress. Are these all upside down? I must have been looking at them. Till We Have Faces. A bunch of the Narnia. I don't have all of the Narnia books, but I'm trying to find them all in this cute little paperback edition. Space Trilogy. A couple middle school novels by Janet Lunn. Okay, Lilith. This is one of those horrendous Amazon editions. But it's really hard to get a copy of Lilith. Fantasties by George MacDonald. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. John McGahern. A Little Melville collection. The Pursuit of Love. This one was also a lovely gift. And look at how incredible this is. Wow. Reading books like this is just such a delight. Okay, and this stack is almost entirely L.M. Montgomery. This is Anne of Avonlea, but I have the set of Anne, Emily, and Blue Lagoon, Blue Castle, which might be my favorite, but also hard to pick because all are delightful. A little Toni Morrison, 47, which I just read for a video, Walter Mosley. Alice Munro short stories, Iris Murdoch, Lolita. Wow, I know nothing about that. Area of Darkness. I think there's a bunch of these novels that were my father's that I thought I would keep for a bit. This stack here is a stack of books that do not belong to me. They are either from the library or borrowed from friends. Ooh. So we're gonna set those up there. This is a book I still need to write a catalog card for, Above the Noise. DeMar DeRozan, No Country for Young Men. Michael Ondaatje, Silver Wings by Kenneth Follett. George Orwell, Animal Farm in 1984. Really enjoy George Orwell a lot. Oh, isn't this beautiful? Under Two Flags. I'll be honest, I got this for the cover. Now I have 3 Orphan Pamuk novels, and I have not read any Orphan Pamuk. I don't know how this happens, but I should. Maybe I'll do a whole series on him and decide if I want them. The Sympathizer by Viet Thanh Nguyen. Dr. Zagavo in a beautiful edition. A little narrative of Arthur Gordon Pym of Nantucket by Edgar Allan Poe. Excellent Women by Barbara Pym. Jean Rhys, Jean Rhys maybe. Wide Sargasso Sea. Richardson, Dorothy Richardson, Pointed Roofs. Wow, so many great books. This is a 4-piece set of Clarissa, Pamela by Richardson as well. Those are both by Samuel Richardson. The Lightning Thief series. We have As For Me and My House by Sinclair Ross. Dream Street by Damon Runyon. Again, absolutely blissful cover. A few Salman Rushdie. This I picked up when I was in high school just because it's called Satan in the Suburbs. And I remember reading it and thinking it was kind of fun. We have some J.D. Salinger, Jose Saramago, Dorothy L. Sayers, of course, a couple F. Scott Fitzgerald, 1066 and All That. I read this, I did not get almost any of the references. So I would need to learn more and read that again. And Sinclair's Jungle. Okay, we are making great progress. Down we go. Okay, on this bottom shelf, we have The Prime of Miss Jean Brodie in a beautiful, oh, can't really see it over there. Let me bring it up. Again, gorgeous edition. Such a dream to have books like that. A couple St. John Mandel books, East of Eden, a Steinbeck collection, Robert Louis Stevenson, Mysterious Benedict Society, Gulliver's Travels, Nagugi, A Grain of Wheat, a couple Miriam Toes, the beautiful Lord of the Rings. Hobbit is somewhere around the house. We have that as well. And then the Children of Hurin. Over here, a little Tolstoy, Anna Karenina, War and Peace. Anthony Trollope. Which one is this? Framley Parsonage by Trollope. And 10,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. As well as Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. And Journey to the Center of the Earth. Lolly Willows. What else we got in here? Edith Wharton, Age of Innocence. Excellent. A couple Elie Wiesel stories. Most of that is World War II stuff. Oscar Wilde, Picture of Dorian Gray. Professor and the Madman, Simon Winchester. And it's about the making of the Oxford English Dictionary. The Plums of P.G. Wodehouse, Fun and Gold. A couple Virginia Woolf. We have Jacob's Room and To the Lighthouse. How much of these hills is gold? I read this a few years ago, and I honestly do not remember anything about it. I need to reread that. This book, super fun, called Carrying Cambodia. It's all just photos of people carrying stuff on their bikes. And this is a, oh my. This is a folder I have of literature I have printed off. So this is Araby by James Joyce. I have The Machine Stops by E.M. Forster. The Aerostatic Spy, and The Man Plant. Oh, The Man Plant. I have a couple children's books as well. I recently gave a lot of these away to children, but I kept a few. This is Nightingale, a very beautiful rendition of that. Hansel and Gretel. The Dance of the Violin. Smelly Socks by Robert Munsch. Duckworth, The Difficult Child. This one is so fabulously illustrated. Very fun. And The Dark by Lemony Snicket. I love Lemony Snicket. Down here, you may have seen them peeking. And these are all Sir Walter Scott novels. He has roughly a million. Okay, this section up here is not alphabetical by author at all. It is kind of by genre. So for a quick overview, here, and it's kind of spilled out here, these three piles are plays and short stories. This pile back here is books in French, Harry Potter, series of unfortunate events, and then poetry. This and another stack behind. Okay, first we have these little stories of Tolkien's. I am currently reading the Tom Bombadil one, so we're missing one. And then here we have a bunch of Shakespeare, just a bunch. I'm not going to go through it all. We also have Catherine Mansfield, Moliere's plays. This is also Catherine Mansfield. These are 2 English short story collections and a couple Tolstoy short stories. Back here we have, some more Moliere, Turn of the Screw and Other Stories. A bunch more Shakespeare. Springs of Affection by Maeve Brennan. I really enjoyed those stories. Collected story, shorter plays of Samuel Beckett. And then we have another Salman Rushdie short stories. The Club of Queer Traits. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And other stories. Sophocles. Plays of Christopher Marlowe. A bunch more Shakespeare. Oh, this is all the Shakespeare. We're going to put her back there. This is all the other plays. I'm going to put that there. And then I'm going to put the short stories here. But first, I'm going to show you what's behind them. Okay, these are all books in French. I always say I want to read more French, and I never do. So I must. They're also all upside down. Oops. Les Villes de Papier, Dominique Fortier. I've enjoyed a few of his books. Le Petit Prince, obviously. What else? We have some Zola, more Dominique Fortier, Bernard. Oh, Pivot, yes, Sans Expression Sauvée. That's a fun little guy. La Chartreuse de Parme, Kim Toy. I have a few of her books. And then also Dumas, Count of Monte Cristo in French. A few Albert Camus, Jules Verne, Cyrano de Bergerac. That's better. We have Coleridge, Dante, Beowulf, Christina Rossetti's poems, G.K. Chesterton's poems, Homer, Paradise Lost, Roald Dahl rhyme stew, Canadian poetry, myths from Mesopotamia. And then back here we have more Dante, Spenser's poetry, Burns poetry, the Odyssey, Canterbury Tales, Lisbon poet, and the poems and plays of Tennyson. Here we just have my cookbooks. I currently have 2 cookbooks from the library, which are these 2. But my cookbooks that I own are Dessert Person, Cook This Book by Molly Baz, Snacking Cakes by Yosefi Arefi, sorry there's a hair, To Asia with Love by Hetty McKinnon, and Anna Jones, The Modern Cook's Year. And then I have this cute little book called The Book of Miso. Oh, and I have one cookbook that is in my kitchen right now because I was using it. And that book is, I'm coming, What's for Dessert by Claire Sappitz. Okay, and then randomly under this phone, I have a few books about food. A Year in Provence by Thomas Mayo, A Good Year by Peter Mayo. Peter Mayo, The 25 Years in Provence, and Toujours Provence by Peter Mayo. A little Peter Mayo collection under my phone. Wow, everything is always so dusty. The only books I really have left to show you are the ones that are out and about because I am reading them currently. And most of those are found here. And I think I mentioned a lot of them throughout the tour. But this is The Adventures of Tom Bombadil by J.R.R. Tolkien. I have the KJV, Dante Divine Comedy, translated by Dorothy L. Sayers. It's a library book, but it is All the Road Before Me, The Diary of C.S. Lewis. A Beginner's Guide to Dante by Jason M. Baxter. God's Secretaries by Adam Nicholson. Don Quixote. Oh, I do have a collection of Shakespeare's sonnets by my bed right now. I think that's it. Wow. That is all. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope that you enjoyed. It was really fun to film. It's so nice to go through your library. Often you forget little bits that are there. You do not dust the books that are there. So this was helpful on many levels for me. And I hope you enjoyed. I will see you so soon. Have a lovely, lovely day. Goodbye. Goodbye.